It's currently 10:49 p.m. And I recall spending the late morning hours to the evening hours working on first deciding what details to put on these legs in order to best take the high heels into consideration, as well as the shorts, and then coloring in the legs themselves using these two Sharpie markers. And I use this Sharpie marker in order to put the finer details in. I'm currently doing the last details. First I did the last details of the sports bra, and now I'm doing the last details of the shorts before moving on to the last part of the project, which is to do a Hispanic floral embroidery pattern for this jacket. Back's completely blank too. I expect to have the project done by tomorrow. Although I imagine that the jacket will be a long and difficult process that will require a lot of Sharpie markers, but a lot of different colors, but it'll be worth it. You know, it's generally, one thing I learned today, it's generally better to do the finer details over blank polystyrene. Since that way, if you color first it'll be harder for me to see the guiding dots I make to help me make straight and curved lines. And thus it'll be harder for me to have those lines go the way they're supposed to. To keep them straight if I want to keep them straight, or to curve them in the way I want to curve them. If you've seen the previous few my dinner videos, you might have seen that I colored this sports bra first before I did those two lines that appear at the bottom of it. And they ended up getting a little crooked towards the left side. Though I think I'm doing better for what's going to be some fabric or threads, near at pretty much the bottom of the shorts. I can probably finish that either today or very early tomorrow. I recall that when Dad got home, he made an evening pot of coffee. Of which I had about 2 cups of that. Roughly from 6:30 p.m. to about 8 p.m. There's still a little left. Of that evening pot that was saved for me, but I'll be having that later. Right now I've got some water. I believe is left over from when I had lunch. I had those 2 sandwiches that Dad made for me in the morning. At around 3 p.m. And then earlier, I toasted 2 halves of a bagel at once in our toaster. I made sure the halves didn't touch each other. And in the center of the toaster oven, and then when the toasting was done, I put peanut butter on one half and jelly on the other. I'm not sure what fruit, but for some reason, grape shouts out to me. By the way, this stew is a homemade meal Dad got from Grandma while visiting his parents the other day. And he heated and added the corn. Dad. It makes for a pretty good meal. Speaking of when I had that peanut butter and jelly bagel around 11 in the morning, I recall at the time having either my first or second cup of the morning pot Dad made for me. And due to the heat of the bagel halves after toasting them, the peanut butter somewhat melted, while I was bringing the two bagel halves up. Made for a pretty good sandwich. Regardless of that, since the peanut butter only partially melted, I recall getting up anywhere from around 9:30 in the morning to about 10:15 in the morning, and I'm going to lean more towards 10:15 in the morning. And I had 2 to 3 cups from the morning pot, roughly from maybe 10:30 in the morning to around noon, 1 p.m. at the latest. I completed some Almanac side quests as well as some task sets for this episodic event. I tried to get the Elven ship, I think both during the afternoon and then during the evening. When I later remembered I didn't get it when I tried earlier today. For some reason, it seems really hard to get daily exclusives for this event, but hopefully I'll be able to get all of the pieces for this Ancient Promise building set, although I'm not sure if I would really be able to make the room for another whole building set. I already have this one. This room was pretty close to room temperature throughout the day. It wasn't as cold as it was a couple of days ago.